And the curriculum is culturally relevant, where kids, the learning that they do is couched in issues that mean a lot to them in their community. So they've done studies using computer science about food deserts, about healthy eating, about their snack behaviors, about immigration, about talking to their parents about difficult issues using computer science. And interest and engagement from the assessments is high. It's expanded nationwide because of the NSF and code.org. We're in every major city. And the reason I'm talking about this is because it's a program that we insist that equity be at the heart of it, and that we choose the schools and the districts critically. What will it take now? We still have to work in all these different areas. We're continuously having to challenge biased belief systems, like this one about meritocracy, where the industry thinks that to be in computer science, it's a meritocracy. You just have to do it, and the best will rise to the top. And we're saying no, it's a question of unequal access, and that industry really has to change its policies also, that it's education, but it's also industry. And industry has to stop thinking that they can only get computer scientists from the most elite universities, but that there is colleges, universities, high schools all over this country that have capable, talented, brilliant people when having access to learn computer science will make a wonderful contribution. And it's going to take all of us. I'm showing my 60s roots. I think it's going to take a lot, and it's going to take more than conferences. And the whole reason why we have to do it is that the world is being changed by computer science. Our world needs these girls with the values they bring, the drive, the resiliency, the initiative, the concern about their families, concern about their communities. Those value systems, that wanting to give back to the community, must be in computer science, because otherwise we're left with only war games. We're left with, one device after another that we don't necessarily need, and that there are so many other values and priorities that will only change when we have all populations, and especially these marginalized girls, sitting at the design table. So that's why this is so, so important. Thank you. I went on.
Okay, so we have 15 minutes for Q&A. I've been advised that we can go slightly into the break, which I think is needed for this important conversation. So I just want to personally thank you all for your insights, for your perspective. This was an amazing set of vignettes and perspectives and information that I think that we can all benefit from. You all have folders, and just to let you know, I did snapshots of bios, but full bios are there, and contact information is there, which I will be utilizing in the near future. But I just wanted to bring your attention to that before we go into Q&A, and say that if you have questions, please let me know, raise your hand, and we will get to those, and I will intersperse those with mine. But I know that the audience has a lot of questions that they'd like to address as well. So I see you, and you. Okay, yes, ma'am. We don't need a mic. Oh, are we gonna do it, mic it up since we're on live stream? Okay. All right.
Good morning.
Please introduce yourself.
Yes,
and then
my name is Gabriela Gonzalez, and I am with Intel Corporation. So thank you all. This was very enlightening as well as inspiring. I had a question for Ivana. So you had mentioned that your mom helped you to make the decision between plumbing and electrical. Why plumbing and electrical? Did you have a chance to explore other options, or were those the only options that you thought about? I'm just trying to wonder how the decision-making came to those two choices.
Well, Queens Vocational and Technical High School has an exploratory program. So in their freshman year, if they pick that option, they're able to try out multiple different majors. So in a period of 6 weeks, we can try out 3 to 4 majors in our school. And I tested out business, electrical, plumbing. and I preferred electrical and plumbing. My first choice was not actually Queens Vocational, it was Aviation High School, because I wanted to be a mechanic for airplanes. But my mom kind of pushed me for Queens Vocational because my brother went there. So, but I always had a knack for working with my hands, so that's why I chose electrical and plumbing.
Thank you. It's a question middle back. I'm going to stand so you guys can see me as well. Oh. You can, go ahead since you have the mic, and then is there a second mic that we're using? Yes, in the back. Yes. No, please go.
Yes, good morning. My name is Monty Platt from Georgia Institute of Technology. Love the stories. I love Katrina clearly, of course. And I really love what Angelique said to Katrina. That was really touching. My question actually, though, is for Dr. Handelsman. So as a professor, one of the questions is we run these programs, but they do take money, right? And I think even talking about the preparatory privilege, there was a lot of money that was put into these individuals separately from their own private stocks. I wonder, as in your new position at the Office of Science and Technology with the White House, what leverage would you be able to garner to support different types of programs to build in these kind of programs and fund these programs at the lower, I mean, like by lower I mean K-12 education with these particular targets? What leverage does the White House have that we could take advantage of?
Well, I often say that the Office of Science and Technology at the White House has no money and no power, and we don't really run anything, but we do have the influence of the White House, and that counts for a lot. We influence the budget, and the president is dedicated to moving budget priorities away from many of the traditional things, because we can't fund everything, toward these kinds of programs that have been shown to be effective. And I think what is the distinguishing features I've learned about this White House is that it's evidence-based. And so there are a lot of programs out there that probably aren't that effective, or at least aren't that effective in the targeted groups that we really need to focus on. And so pulling out programs like the ones we heard about today that really do make a difference and quantitatively produce more women and minority graduates than perhaps other programs are the kinds of things we want to support. So the budget is one, the bully pulpit is another. I think the president is very effective at sending the messages that many of us would like to hear sent, and we can feed him more of those to be promulgated. And then finally, public-private partnerships. The government can't do it alone, but the government can form partnerships with the companies and the private foundations that do have the resources to fund these. So I think those are our three big strategies.
Thank you. I think someone has a mic, and if we could get a mic up to this here. Oh,
Hi.
she has. Oh, in the back, and then right here. I'm sorry.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Alice Hockenberry with Girl Scouts of the USA, and I think many of you all around the room we've partnered with or are partnering with at the local level and even at the national level. And as you all know, one of our priorities is increasing girls' access to STEM, and in particular, marginalized girls. One of the things I would like to ask some of our panelists is about that after-school, out-of-school opportunities that you all had around STEM. Because there are groups around the room today that are providing that, not in school, but out of school, that really are girl-led, hands-on, experiential learning type opportunities, and especially with mentors, that I think we all need to bring into the conversation, not just, that in-school space. So I would open that up to some of our panelists and just, if you all have had any sort of positive experiences or even know of some great best practices to lift up. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
I'll respond to your question. The programs that I listed in my PowerPoint slide are after school and extended enrichment type programs. They are programs that are successful with girls of color and low income girls. In terms of what we know works, the programs have to, as we've talked about already, have women who represent working employees in the STEM industry. So that's really important. But what I'd also like to communicate is that in the after-school extended enrichment space, sometimes we've taken that space as a custodial care space, somewhere for people to go. We keep them safe, but they don't really do a whole lot. And so it actually is a prime opportunity to utilize